In this next lesson, we're going to use relationships to find angle measures. So what we can do is we can actually look at pictures of parallel lines cut by a transversal, and we can actually talk about what type of angle relationships they have. I'm going to use this picture right down here to kind of help us with filling in the top part of this lesson. So corresponding angles are in the same exact spot. So if you do an angle slide, so imagine you take this clump that's right here and slide it down on top of this clump right here. 1 and 5 actually end up in the same exact spot, which means that they must be congruent angles. When we do the slide and we bring it down, so I'm going to just write over here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we look at alternate interior angles, alternate interiors would be angles like 3 and 6. When I do the angle slide, so now consider I'm just looking down here, look at where 3 slides to and where 6 is located. Those actually become vertical angles if I do the angle slide, and we know that verticals are equal to each other, so those are also congruent. The alternate exteriors, for example, 1 and 8, if I look at them after I've done the slide, 1 and 8, they're also vertical, which means that they are congruent. For same side interiors, if I look at 3 and 5, they would be an example of same side interior angles. If I slide this down, the 3 actually turns out to be next to the 5, and if you notice, together they form a line, so they are actually a linear pair or supplementary. So, same side exteriors are going to follow the same rule. They are also supplementary. Verticals we already know are congruent, and a linear pair we know are supplementary. So, same sides are all supplementary. The alternates are going to be congruent to each other. So if I look at example 1, it says the measure of angle 1 is 108 degrees. Mark that on your picture. Find the other angles, don't forget to clump them. So for right now, let's just actually focus on this top part. You're used to this X situation. If 1 is 108, you know because 4 is a vertical that it's also 108 degrees. We can then look at just something like 2 and 4. They're a linear pair, so together they have to add up to be 180. So if we do 180 minus 108, we're left with 72 degrees for angle 2. Angle 2 and angle 3 are verticals, so this is also 72 degrees. Once you've figured out that whole top clump, you can just take it and slide it right on down. This one's going to be 108 degrees, this one will be 72 degrees, 108 degrees, and 72 degrees. If I take a look at example number 2, I can actually use some color here, liven this up. Here is my clump, here is my clump. If I'm looking at these two, notice they're both on the interior and they're on the same side of the transversal. So they are same side interior. So same side interiors, we can either remember that they're supplementary, or if we did the angle slide, this 91 would actually move down here, which shows me that together they make a straight line, so they're 180 degrees. Since this one's 91, the supplementary angle would have to be 89 degrees. In this example, I have my clumps, and notice these are alternate interiors. They're both on the interior, but they're on different sides, so we're going to call them alternate interiors. And if I slide, the 53 is in the bottom left, it's now going to go down here. Alternate interiors are congruent, so X is 53 degrees. If I take a look at this example, this is on the exterior, that's on the exterior, and they're on different sides, so they are alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles we know are congruent, so X in this case would have to be 88 degrees. If I turn it over here, if I clump these, notice they're both exteriors because they're outside, but they're on the same side of the transversal. So these are same side exteriors. Same sides are always going to be supplementary. If I slid this X down, it's going to come right here. So to get X, I need to do 180 minus 73, which is going to give me 107 degrees. Over here, I don't even really need the rest of this picture. I can just look at this top part and I know that these are just a linear pair. So I know that X plus 78 plus 42 must add up to be 180 then. So if I drop my line down, combine my like terms, I get x plus 120 equals 180. Subtract 120, x is equal to 60 degrees. If I look at this next one, I'm going to actually turn my paper so that my clumps look a little bit better and they kind of look upright. So notice these are both exteriors and they're on the same side, so our relationship is same side exteriors. If I slid this down, the x plus 10 would come right here. So notice, cover up the rest of the picture then, they're just a linear pair essentially, they're supplementary. So x plus 10 plus 112 is equal to 180. That's my line. So I get x plus 122 equals 180. Subtract 122, and x equals 58 degrees then.